basis of the First Nations and Generations study. There were two areas of interest that were particularly focused upon. One, the communication style of the First Nations people. Knowing that the majority of those people were kinesthetic communicators, how does their sensitivity affect their place in the workplace and affect the other people in the workplace as well? Kinesthetic speakers are dramatically different. They are 100 to 1,000 times more physically sensitive to sounds, to facts, to emotions. An extremely sensitive, respectful people. Now that may seem, shall I say, a generic description, and it's more than that. It is a way of being that is universal. Sensitivity, respect, honor. 100 to 1,000 times more physically sensitive to sound, pictures, gestures, all modes of communication. Kinesthetic people will understand that level of sensitivity that I can't even really communicate auditorily very well, because I'm not kinesthetic. But I certainly can embrace and encourage the importance of honoring and respecting that very appreciative and valued learning style. How many of the kinesthetic people might say, I wish I wasn't so sensitive? And at the same time, how many visual or auditory people would like to have the same sensation, the same feeling of feeling a newborn baby in your arms when you're kinesthetic? The feeling must be indescribable when I'm feeling that blessing 100 to 1,000 times more. Also, many of the employees at the casino, which was Route 66, were in the digital generation. Smartphones and texting was very prevalent and an integral part in their communication style. Initially, we will talk about the First Nations communication style and the kinesthetics that they are. Kinesthetic communicators, as I mentioned, feel things in their whole body, and you can actually see the kinesthetic pattern in the iris of the eye. In this slide, you will see a very unique and different communication pattern graphically demonstrated in the iris of the eye. Now, naturally, many Native Americans or First Nations people have brown eyes. I only show you a blue eye to show you the pattern that you're looking for. The contrast of a blue eye, you see straight lines. And if you look very closely at the Native American eye, the First Nations people eye, you will see a predominance of straight lines. I've not seen any other type besides the kinesthetic communication style. One thing that I was very surprised at in evaluating the results of the study, 3 times the number that I would have expected of kinesthetic learners were employed by the casino. I would have naturally guessed that there was a higher percentage because of the high percentage, or the reasonably high percentage, of Native peoples employed by the casino. It's a wonderful opportunity to provide employment for members of the pueblo, or the tribe. Additionally, what I found fascinating was that many other kinesthetic cultures were attracted to that environment. It could have been because of the security of being in a casino, punching in and punching out with a key card that allows some level of safety, which is very important to kinesthetic people. Maybe it's because of many of the managers who are also kinesthetic, and we'll talk about the management kinesthetic style as well. Many of the people also were within other cultures, were also kinesthetic in their eye pattern type. I was amazed when I found probably a population of 75% kinesthetic employees in the First Nations casino. It is important to learn, one, how to survive, and each culture survived in a different way, and how to embrace those employees even more than they are being embraced now. Certainly the loyalty, and especially in certain departments, are impeccable and long-standing. And at the same time, especially in the First Nations people, some departments are not necessarily embracing and allowing for success in those particular departments. I find it interesting that in food service in particular, and the wait staff, no Native peoples have survived the kinesthetic and the dynamics of that. Managers have, busters have. There is one waitress that has been long-standing in the kinesthetic style, and predominantly that particular environment hasn't fostered kinesthetic Native support to the level that they deserve. Moving along, most kinesthetics are found in the First Nations people, in the Asian population, and the African American population. Those three cultures have a great high percentage of kinesthetic learners. There are, naturally, kinesthetic communicators both in the Caucasian and the Hispanic cultures. Those people also flocked to the First Nations casino. Each one of the cultures survived with very, very different strategies. There were certain positions, certain departments, certain ways that each kinesthetic survived in that environment. And like I say, each one survived not only in a different way, but they survived in the way that was most comfortable for them. Incorporating their survival skills for other kinesthetic employees would be quite valuable. And understanding the sensitivity and the respect that these people offer and also deserve in return is equally as important.